Okay, my name's Dino. I'm a senior product engineer at Bounce, and today I'm bringing you a little project I worked on called SeqEx, which is basically a MIDI sequencer in Elixir. Luckily, someone already touched on MIDI today, so I can skip ahead those slides and not talk about music theory, which I don't know much about, so that's also good for me. But MIDI, basically, long story short, it's a way for you to digitally encode musical information. So for example, you could have like a MIDI controller, which does not play sound, usually by itself, send information of what's being played to a synthesizer that would then play whatever is being played. So for that, luckily we have a library called midiex, thanks to the Rust community. They wrote that. I think someone made an if on that. Also, luckily for me, because I didn't have to do it, so 90% of the work was already done. Great Elixir community. So, in short, you can basically open a connection to any device, MIDI device. You type what your message is. In this case, the message that 144 is basically a note on channel 1, 60 is the note that it's playing, and 120 is the velocity, which is how hard you're hitting the keys. And if you want to turn it off, you basically send another message with 128. That's a note off on channel 1, and what note you want to turn off. And basically, in order to build a sequencer, I'm like, okay, what's a sequencer? A sequencer is something that you just give it a sequence of notes, and it just plays the notes, you know. It gives it a little interval, plays the next note, another interval, next note, yada yada, so on and so forth. So it should look something like this. We have a 8-note sequence, right? So it's gonna play C4, and then it's gonna use process.send after to call itself back, the GenServer. And when it goes to the second step, it's gonna turn off the note that it was playing, and it's gonna turn on the note that it needs to play now, schedules another message for itself that after a given interval, and it goes to the next one, so on and so forth. So basically I was like, okay, cool, this seems pretty straightforward. You build a GenServer that sends the MIDI messages. Can I use LiveView to do something with it? And of course you can. So on mount, you can just, okay, give me the first output port that you can find. Let me start the sequencer. Let me use Phoenix click as well as Phoenix value to just toggle notes on and off. And then basically I can just handle that press on the pad, and I can say, okay, update the sequence taking into account the index and the note. And oops, I didn't want to show that slide. 1 second. I'm just gonna show it working. 1 second. Hopefully, fingers crossed. I need to move this around. Okay, so this is what it looks like. If I press play, we should start hearing something. Okay, it is working, okay? So I can come here, I can add more notes, I can increase the tempo, I can increase the note length so it goes faster. And by the way, this is basically the notes, so this is the C major scale, so C, D, E, yada, 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 all the way to the top. You can go even higher up, add more notes here, which you'd see here. And the cool thing is, since this is played by the GenServer, I can continue playing whatever I want on the device, so I can like be playing chords. You know, you can just go along. On the right, there's like a visualizer of the notes that are coming in basically from the device and not from the GenServer itself. So yeah, and I don't know if I have a lot of time left, but basically I want to speed this one up. I ended up adding PubSub to it, so if anyone wants to try and add some notes, feel free to scan the QR code. You don't have all the functionality because I removed the BPM, and you can only add a note every 10 seconds. We tried this live, it was awful, so hopefully it goes better this time around. So let me see what's going on over there. I'm gonna press play. Oh my God. I mean, the Elixir community is so good at music. Just a second. Okay, I'm gonna pause it. Thank you for your contribution. Thank you. So just flying through the slides here, as you can see, actually the LiveView, what it does is like, hey, is the sequencer live? Can you give me its PID? Sure thing. Okay, I get the PID. I ask for its current state. I update the UI according to that. And then I subscribe to a specific topic using PubSub. And then on the sequencer side, I just broadcast any updates to the sequencer state, which is then handled by the handle info on LiveView and then updates itself. and updates the UI. So yeah, that's basically it. The project is live on GitHub, so if you want to go there, there's slides from yesterday's meetup also. And if you want to, there's a live book also, if you want to test it out, midiex and the sequencer itself. Any questions, feel free to come to me. We can discuss this, and thank you.